Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to show you my new 12 volt power supply I put on my DR-Z. Gonna come in handy for things like GPS or charging the GoPro on the trail or the phone, whatever. It was pretty easy to get a hold of. I bought it from Canadian Tire. It won't light a cigarette. It doesn't have enough wattage or current draw, whatever, to light the cigarette and to heat one of those up. But it is waterproof, and it was cheap. It has an inline fuse in it. I put my own 10 amp fuse in. I just assume, the GoPro's not going to be pulling more than 10 amps, and the phone won't, and stuff like that. If you were going to use a cigarette lighter one, you want to use heavier wire. And I don't know what the current draw is on a cigarette lighter, but you might want to put a 15 or a 20 amp fuse in. I'm not exactly sure. But I used 16 gauge wire because it's nice and narrow. I used the same color for both, and I just ran them one at a time and did my best to remember which one goes where. You can use red, or you can use whatever color wire you want. Just as long as red on the front goes to the red battery on the back, you're good. Now I hooked mine directly up to the battery so that when the bike's off, I can still be charging. Now if you want it on the accessory mode, or just when you turn it on, I think you could hook it up to these terminals here, but I'm assuming they're just always power all the time. That's for jump starting the bike and whatnot. So yeah, I mounted it with hot glue. I don't know how you guys would feel about that, but it is pretty strong, as you can see. I used to fix my tail light, and it looks great. It holds great. Hot glue's good. If you make a little plug with it, if you let the goop go through each side and kind of make sort of a plug, squish it in, it holds all sorts of stuff. So, and when it does break off, you can just peel it off easily. Maybe you want to mount it differently. Maybe you like the way it is, but it cleans up real nice when you want to redo it. So I'll show you quickly how to wire it, or how to run the wires, because I think that there's really only one nice and clean way to go. I'll try to point. I ran from up top, down the handlebars, down the frame here, under the gas tank. It kind of loops around by the rear shock and goes across the seat and to the battery. So I'll show you a little closer. I just followed this one the whole way. Just follow that the whole way. As far as you can anyway. I think it goes right here, underneath, comes out here. I'd like to put another zap strap there. As long as you're not hitting anything, as long as when you put the tank back on, you're not pinching off any wires, you're going to be good to go. So I ran it right from here, under the frame, and right across the top. And I just had the wires coming out, I guess right there. And I've wrapped up the excess. You'll want to cut them properly, but I'd already unthreaded this and put my cap on and wired it in, so I didn't want to go back and do it again. It was just lazy. So yeah, that's about it. Put your tank back on. Put your side covers back on, all the plastics, and I think you're good to go. Anyway, I think it's a great mod. I don't think it affects the bike in any way. I think it's going to allow you to keep your GoPro charging all weekend, your phone charged, your laptop if you want to get crazy. Whatever's clever. So there you go. Happy riding.